From polling models to expert predictions, the race between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump was considered a toss-up right to the end. But as votes began to be counted, some well-renowned pollsters took a U-turn on their predictions. Nate Silver is one of the most well-known names in election forecasting. He had a lot riding on his 538 polling model, which showed Harris with the advantage through most of the election night.
By the way, if y'all haven't figured this out yet, all of these pollers, with the slight exception of Rasmussen, he was as close as anybody was able to get to these polls. I don't know of anybody that predicted this huge red wave, this tsunami, if you will. Let's be honest about it. These pollsters don't know what they're doing. I talked about that on election night. I was very clear about it. Matter of fact, I got the clip here. I don't like to brag, but every once in a while I will. I called it 312 electoral votes, but even I did not predict the type of red wave that we're seeing right now. I knew that the polling was wrong for Donald Trump. We talked about that, and the polls were wrong in 2016. The polls were wrong in 2020 when Donald Trump supposedly lost or whatnot. And of course, I had no reason to believe that they fixed it in that time frame. And of course, we know the reality.
10:30 p.m., he abandoned his poll. Silver posted on Substack his model was not capturing the story of the election.
Yeah, this guy was
However, in the final
genius.
days leading up to the election, Silver said the polls showed Harris with the momentum, but his gut told him Trump would likely win. He did predict there would be a
I'm going to mute that while it continues to play because I want to get to the other guy. He's my favorite. But we kept hearing a bunch about Nick Silver, and he was just wrong.
Of the 7 swing states that have been called and leads in the other 3 swing states where votes are still being counted. Allan Lichtman is often referred to as the Nostradamus of presidential elections.
Did you guys hear that? The Nostradamus of presidential election. I would not want that label, as I just said. I have not seen in my lifetime Nostradamus correct.
Successfully predicting the last 9 of 10 presidents. Unlike other models, Lichtman makes predictions off of historical trends and doesn't deal in percentages. He predicted a win for Harris. Lichtman said that was based on what he described as a strong economy and the absence of a strong third-party candidate that he said would factor in the Democrats' favor.
That's why my prediction system, with a 40-plus year track record, predicts that Kamala Harris will be a new path-breaking president, the first woman president.
Yeah, just so we're clear, if you don't remember, he was very clear and very adamant about that Kamala Harris would be the next president of the United States. He kept touting he's been around 30, 40 years. He's never been wrong except for the year 2000. And then he would go on to argue that technically he was right because Al Gore should have been the president, but yet the Supreme Court gave it to George W. Bush. But at any rate, I'm now exposing him for his hypocrisy. He does not know what he's talking about. And the keys that he refers to, these are very subjective at best. I kind of like the keys, to be honest with you, but I don't like the way he interprets the keys. He clearly, and I think this video illustrates this too, he clearly has a bias. We all have biases, right? But clearly he leans to the left. At least leaning is a kind word concerning my feelings about it. And of course, he has a bias against Donald Trump because, in his words, he's had supporters of Donald Trump allegedly make threats against him. But at any rate, I don't want to get off.
And the first president of mixed African and Asian descent.
But on election night, during a live stream of results, Lichtman's tune changed, casting doubt on his own prediction.
Trump is winning 51% of the Hispanic vote in Pennsylvania.
What?
That's what CNN is showing right now.
Was that possible? The world is turned upside down. That's all I can say. Is that better?
I love that. Did you hear? I don't know if y'all could hear that or not. The world has turned upside down. His initial reaction when the other guy said President Trump has received approximately 55% of the Latino vote in the state of Pennsylvania, his comment, what? And he's just, you know, what do you call it? Gotcha. You're exposed.
Up to the eve of the election, there was one pollster creating all the buzz and sells.
Oh, and this one here is probably a better example of clear media bias, how the media is in the tank for the Democrats. They're nothing but a bunch of liberal, I don't know what you want to call it. You use your own adjective. They are just a mouthpiece for the left, and we have known that for a long time.